Hello guys. This is the Orange Hokage here and today we are doing What If Naruto Went Back in Time with Sakura Part 19. Make sure you check the description for the original creator's story and now let's get right into the story. Chojuro, Mai's council elders, Jiraiya, Gai, Zabuza and Sakura were at the main gate of Kiri, waiting for Naruto, Kakashi and the Mizudameo's entourage. It had been less than 5 minutes since the guards caught sight of them, so everyone expected the group to arrive in less than 3. As they waited, Jiraiya was writing something down in a notepad, all the while giggling and taking sidelong glances at Mai from time to time, causing Sakura, Mai and Chojuro to become irritated. As Naruto's group neared the gate, Sakura finally had enough of Jiraiya's perversity and launched a super-powered punch into the man's gut. Luckily for the man, his instincts, honed in the fires of war, saved him from a short hospital trip. Deciding that an annoyed Sakura was a dangerous one, Jiraiya placed his notebook into his equipment pouch and focused on the present situation. Just in time as well, because it was at this time that the daimyo's entourage finally reached the gates. "Yo!" Kakashi said, walking by reading his kuka. Everyone but Gai ignored the masked jonin. The taijutsu specialist lamented about Kakashi's hip attitude and how it was improper. "Enough, Gai," Naruto said, causing Gai to straighten his back and calm down. "Alright everyone, Mitsunari-san, accompanied by his son and daughter, is here to crown you, Mai, as the Godame Mizukage. The ceremony will be held tomorrow morning, at which time some important announcements will be made as well. Mai, Jiraiya, can you two make all the preparations by then?" Mai and Jiraiya shared a look. Turning back to Naruto, Mai said, "We should be able to. If Jiraiya-sama will be willing to help with the sealing that need to be done, we can have it all prepared by dawn." "Don't worry Naruto, I will make sure that everything is ready by tomorrow noon." Naruto nodded as Mitsunari, Shiki and Itoheim stepped out of their palanquins and approached the group, with Itoheim coming to stand beside Naruto. What caught Sakura's attention was that Itoheim was not dressed like a princess. Instead, she was wearing a short gray battle kimono with light leather armor fitted with metal strips engraved with seals. The most catching aspects about the girl's attire was the red naginata with the black blade strapped to her back and the jade necklace proudly worn on her breast with the Uzumaki clan sigil engraved on it. The same design necklace Hinata started wearing after her engagement with Naruto became public. With a raised eyebrow, Sakura subtly gestured at Itoheim, causing Naruto to nod. Sakura frowned as she nodded in return. "Zabuza, I have a job for you. Please come visit me this evening in my room." "As you wish Naruto-sama," Zabuza said with a bow while ignoring Mitsunari standing right behind Naruto. Zabuza straightened up and nodded to Shiki before bowing to Itoheim, causing some of the Kari shinobi to stare at the scene in wonder. Zabuza, bowing to a Mizu Royal. "My-san, you can go. Please don't bother preparing quarters for Naruto-sama. He shall be staying with us," Shiki said, causing Mai to nod while Ao just frowned at the suspicious behavior of the Mizudaimyo. "Of course, Shiki-sama." "Then get going. You have much work to do. I am sure that I can easily escort Mitsunari-san and his family back to their estate here. Kakashi, get some rest. You're on leave until it's time to return. You too, Gai. Kakashi-san, you have quarters with Gai-san. I am sure that he can show you," Mai called out with a smile. Kakashi paled a little but nodded before turning to Gai and gesturing for the spandex-clad jonin to lead the way. As the two jonin left, Naruto turned to Sakura and said, "If you don't have any pressing duties, please come with me. We need to discuss some things." Sakura nodded, causing Naruto to say, "Good. This is Itoheim-chan. Hisui-chan, this is my closest friend, Haruno Sakura-chan." "An honor to meet you, Haim-sama," Sakura said with a bow. Itoheim nodded and said, "The pleasure is mine. I hope that we can be friends." "Of course. Any friend of Naruto's is my friend," Sakura said with a smile. With that said, Naruto turned to everyone and said, "We better get going. I can still feel minor malicious presences here. It is best Mitsunari and his family moves out of harm's way." Mai nodded and barked an order, causing the Kiri ninja around her to disperse. Bowing to Naruto and the Mizudaimyo, Mai turned and headed towards the cage tower and her office with Ao and Chojuro. Beside her, Jiraiya nodded to Naruto and vanished in swirl of leaves. "You can go now, Zabuza," Naruto said, causing Zabuza to shake his head. Can't do that, Naruto-sama. Protocol dictates that you have at least one guard while are in foreign lands outside of combat. Mokusama will have my head if I don't follow her explicit orders. Naruto sighed in defeat before nodding. Alright, you can come, but after we enter the estate, you are free to go. There are some protocols to follow, Naruto. You may be a formidable shinobi, but there are certain expectations from your retainers that need to be met. Why do you think the Kages take bodyguards with them? None of them are the run-of-the-mill shinobi. Sakura said, causing Naruto to glower in annoyance. I agree with Sakura-san. You need to stop thinking that you are a normal shinobi. You are a daimyo as well, and with that position, certain etiquettes and protocols that need to be followed. Even if you don't like it, you have to suck it up and accept the situation. Besides, there is a show of power with who is your guards, how they are dressed, how they carry themselves. All of it are shows of power and grandeur. It's all very important in daimyo-level politics. I realize that you understand cage politics, but military and civilian politics are completely different, though they tend to get mixed up at a certain point. Till now, you have handled the daimyo politics well, but let me hope from now on. I am sure that your already stellar skills in handling daimyo politics will reach astronomical levels. Naruto nodded with a defeated look and turned towards Zabuza to see a glint of amusement in his eyes. Grunting, Naruto said, if you both are done, maybe we should get into a more private setting. Shiki-san, please guide me as I don't know the way. Shiki nodded and ordered his guards to lead the way to the compound. As the group walked after the guard, Sakura and Itohime fell a bit back and started conversing with each other, intent on getting to know each other a little better. Sakura had joined Naruto and Itohime for dinner where they were having a traditional kiri dish made from a particularly delicious fish that was native to the seas around Mizu. Along with that, there was a platter of pork that was created to the specifications of a famous Uzumaki recipe, though it was not as spicy as the Uzumaki used to make it. So, Sakura-san, how long have you been a ninja? From the rumors, I expect that it will be some time already, though you look barely 13. Itohime asked with a curious tone. Sakura shook her head and said, I graduated with Naruto 5 months ago. The only reason I am this strong is because of the secret training I used to do with Naruto by sneaking out of the village. Itohime looked surprised at that before turning to Naruto for confirmation. Naruto nodded as he chewed on a piece of pork. Itohime smiled and turned back to Sakura. I am curious. They say that you are a very good Ronin. The likes of which none has seen before. How would you rank your skill? Sakura shrugged as she took a sip of her green tea before saying, I am not really that great yet. I can assure you that Tsunade-sama would have me beat in healing skills. Don't sell yourself short, Sakura-chan. I am sure that you already rivaled Tsunade back in skills in Raijutsu. Besides, you have surpassed her in raw brute strength. Naruto said, annoying Sakura a bit, though her face took on a faint pink tinge from the compliment. An event that didn't escape Itohime's notice. How long have you two know each other? Well, we first met when we were 5 years old. Naruto always had a very noble character. I was being bullied because of my large forehead. He came in and forced the bullies away and then cheered me up. After that we again met when we enrolled in the academy when we were 9. Though we used to bump into each other during the intervening years, we never got acquainted better. So, how did you become friends? Well, that's a difficult question. At first, I used to get annoyed at his clownish act. But one day, I saw him sneaking out of the village and followed him. I didn't know what he was doing, and because of his pranks, I wanted to make sure that he wasn't up to mischief again. To tell you the truth, I was amazed when I saw his true self. He was training hard, all by himself. She confronted me and I told her what she needed to hear. Naruto interrupted with a serious expression. And what was the thing Sakura-san needed to hear? Itohime asked, causing Sakura to chuckle and say, that in the shinobi world, the one with the most hidden cards is the one who will live. After that, I convinced Naruto to help with my training, though, he also put me down for being a fangirl. I must admit, it had hurt at the time, but I am happy that I changed. I don't think I would have survived if I didn't. Instead, I would have only dragged my team down with me and maybe got them killed as well. So, you two have been friends since then? You can say that. It should be nearing 4 years now. We started becoming friends since we started training together. Sakura said with a smile. You know, during our academy days, Naruto used to wear a Kill Me orange jumpsuit and used to prank the whole of Konoha. Even now all of Konoha fears him, even the Anbu. You can't be serious? Itohime asked with shock. Sakura chuckled and said, of course. He has the unofficial title of demon prankster from hell among the shinobi. Though he has reigned in his pranks since his heritage came out. Instead, he uses his devious mind to manipulate the situations to his advantage. Who knew that pranks could be so formidable on the field? What do you mean? You will come to understand in time. Just know this. When you spar with him, never let your guard down. He will humiliate you the first chance he gets, and that too with prank techniques. Itohime blinked her eyes before turning to stare at a sheepish Naruto. What? It's either pranks or techniques that would cause grievous harm. What would you have me to do? Kill? Itohime shook her head and said, well, there goes my plan to train with you. I heard that you have a bow staff. I wanted to test out my Bakujutsu skills against yours. Naruto and his group of Yuzu and Konoha shinobi were at the gates of Kiri, intending on leaving for Konoha. With them was Itohime with a large scroll on her back and Shiki. Normally a princess like Itohime would have a whole convoy of people and carriages with her, but upon her and Naruto's insistence, it was only the princess with a large scroll strapped to her back. Beside her, Shiki was wearing an expensive traveling kimono, looking a bit ill at ease. In a few days' time, the Rokubai Jinchuriki, Yudikato will be coming by. I was able to convince him to rejoin Kiri, but he demanded certain conditions be met. Just accept the conditions. It is better to have a Jinchuriki of Yudikata's skills with you than against you. Mai looked surprised but nodded, as you wish, Naruto-sama, but are you sure that we can trust him? He deserted his post in the past. Yudikata is someone who prefers peace over war. To maintain the peace, he will do whatever it takes. Besides, the reason he left was a misunderstanding. We shared memories. It is something we Jinchuriki can do. I saw the misunderstanding. His sensei had tried to free him from the burden of being the Rokubai Jinchuriki. Yudikata took it the wrong way, especially since his sensei didn't know that separating a Jinchuriki from their Bijū ends with the death of the Jinchuriki. Anyway, I was able to make him realize the misunderstanding, so he agreed to rejoin. Just make sure to accommodate his conditions. I thank you for your help, Naruto-sama. I will strive to help Yudikata any way I can. Make sure you do. Alright everyone, gather around. Naruto commanded, causing his group to come close. Tapping everyone on the shoulder, each of them were covered in a cloak of bubbling red chakra. Before anyone could blink, they all suddenly found themselves in the forests surrounding Konoha. To be specific, a clearing right off the main road and completely visible from the gates. I still can't believe that the higher Shin can be used like that. Kakashi mumbled, causing Naruto to groan. Give it a rest, Kakashi. I was only able to do it because I had anchored my chakra with the lot of you using the Bijū cloak. Now let's head to the Hokage mansion. Don't you mean the Hokage tower? Nico asked, only for Sakura to comment, censor. Nico coughed in embarrassment as the group headed to the Hokage mansion. On their way, they were met by Konohamaru doing D ranks with Suiron and Karen as his temporary teammates and Demon acting as their Jonin sensei. Naruto-sama. Welcome back. I hope that you had a good trip. Of course. A perfect trip. Everything went as planned. Well, mostly everything. How were you three doing with the D ranks? I hate you, Shizo. Konohamaru grumbled before saying, you had to recommend an early graduation for me, didn't you? Mama Konohamaru, the faster you finish the required D ranks, the faster you are able to get a higher ranked mission, isn't that right everyone? Kakashi teased, causing Konohamaru to glare for a moment. Suddenly, Kakashi's book caught flames as a small explosion occurred, startling everyone. As soon as the explosion sounded, the whole group was surrounded by Anbu and the newly formed police force. The Anbu commander Ri was present as well. Naruto turned his head and saw that they were standing in front of the Anbu HQ. Ri stepped forward and asked, what happened here, Naruto-sama? Don't really understand it, but if I am not wrong, then Konohamaru accidentally caused an explosion to destroy Kakashi's precious Koku by just glaring at him. Naruto said with a slight smirk. That's impossible. Did you trap the book, Naruto? Jiraiya asked with a peeved tone. Again? This is the third time this happened. Riz said, turning to Konohamaru with an accusing glare. Did you try and kill Kakashi, like you tried with Kage Dora and then Hanabi? And I am telling you, I don't understand what is happening. Konohamaru exclaimed, causing Naruto to grin. I know what happened, Konohamaru. I must say, psychic fire bending. Kurama calls it combustion bending. Anyway, come by the compound this evening. I will help you train with it. I started doing it a couple of months ago, though I found that it gives me a headache from all the concentrating. Till then, don't keep your focus on something for too long or with too much intensity. It will set the ability off. Everyone was stunned at the revelation. Many had seen Naruto control the air psychically just like he does with blood, but fire was something new. Before anyone could comment, Naruto continued, we need to be off. Konohamaru, remember what I said. The ability you have is very dangerous. Don't lose control of your anger. With that said, Naruto turned to the route team and said, Captain, follow a member of the police force to the police HQ. From this day forth, you are to report to the police force commander. Make sure to hand in the mission report to me by this evening. Dismissed. The route team nodded before following one of the police force members. Turning to the gathered Anbu, Naruto barked out, why the hell are you lot wasting your time? Get to work. The Anbu nodded before rushing back to their posts. The commander being the last to leave. With everyone gone, Naruto began walking, causing his Kiri team along with Otohime and Shiki to follow at a brisk pace, and with that, I finish my report. Naruto said to the Hokage and Fire Daimyo. Both of the leaders were sitting behind a desk looking over the reports Naruto and those under his command had handed them. Well done all of you. While I can't order you use a shinobi, I recommend that you along with your Konoha comrades take a week of R&R. All of you deserve it. But before you all leave, I have some announcements to make. Haruno Sakura, step forward. Sakura stepped forward and kneeled down in front of the Hokage and the Fire Daimyo and waited. Hiruzen smiled and said, your commander along with various other high-ranking shinobi and your team in from Kiri has recommended you for a promotion. After reviewing the reports, I and Daimyo Dano have decided to grant you the rank of Takubutsu Jonin with a specialization in battlefield healing and heavy assault. Congratulations, Sakura-chan. Sakura bowed her head before standing up and taking the scroll Hiruzen handed her. Unfurling it, she saw 2 storage seals. Activating the smaller one, she got a folder containing the paperwork related to her new rank along with a clearance level upgrade. Taking out the new ID, Sakura changed her previous one with it before handing the old one to the Hokage. Afterwards, she resealed the folder and unsealed her vest. Quickly donning the vest, Sakura turned to her leaders and said, thank you Hokage-sama, Daimyo-sama. After Sakura had stepped back into line, Hiruzen declared, Nico, Tora, step forward. The 2 Anbu stepped forward, kneeled down and waited for Hiruzen to continue. Remove your masks. After both had removed their masks, Hiruzen continued, due to your exemplary service during your career, in particular the Kiri mission, we have decided that you both be honored by the Spirit of the Forest Medal, as recommended by your team leader during the Kiri mission. The ceremony will be held after the Chunin exams, when Naruto will take over as Hokage. Everyone was shocked at the revelation. None of them had realized that Naruto was to be their new Hokage, as he already had much responsibility. Seeing the shocked looks, Hiruzen continued, for the last 3 months, all major decisions were taken under Naruto's purview. Keep this secret until the official declaration. Now dismissed. Everyone bowed and started leaving the room. After some time, only Naruto, Sakura, Zabuza, Jiraiya, Otohime and Shiki were left. Hideyoshi Gigi, Hokage Gigi. It seems that I have found myself another bride. Naruto said with a foxy grin, causing the 2 old men to sigh. We realized that as soon as we saw Otohime-chan wearing the Uzumaki protection amulet. How did this come to be? Hideyoshi asked only for Shiki to speak, may I be allowed to recite the tale, Hideyoshi-sama? Hideyoshi nodded before turning to Naruto and saying, Naruto-kun, you and Sakura-chan show young Otohime-chan around our beautiful village. It seems that Shiki-san's tale will be a long one, so let's not bore your new fiancé with politics. Shiki-san, you must join us for lunch. As you wish, Gigi. Zabuza, stay here and then escort Shiki-san to the compound. Natsumi will key him in. As you wish, Naruto-sama. Zabuza said before walking out of the room and jumping up into the rafters. Seeing Anbu sitting on the same rafter, Zabuza nodded before taking out a book and starting to read it. Are you two free to come by for dinner tonight? Naruto called over his shoulder as he stood at the door to the room. You always invite us. Let me invite you to dinner this time. Hideyoshi said with a smile. Bring Hinata-chan, Atohime-chan, Tsunade-chan, Moka-san with you. And you Sakura-chan, please come as well. Kana-chan has recently become very interested in your exploits. I am sure that she would love to hear about everything firsthand. It would be an honor, Daimyo-sama. Sakura said with a bit of nervousness. Every time she had dinner with the daimyo was at Naruto's. This was the first time she was invited directly by Hideyoshi. And you Jiraiya-kun. If you have time, please come by as well. I will be there, Hideyoshi-sama. It isn't every day that Tsunade will agree to have dinner with me. Jiraiya said with a faint lecherous grin. Sakura narrowed her eye at Jiraiya's tone but decided to ignore it. Hideyoshi turned to Shiki and said, I am sure that you have no objection on joining us for dinner as well? None, Hideyoshi-sama. Hiruzen, you are going to be there with your grandson, won't you? Of course, Hideyoshi-dano. I won't miss it for the world. Then what about you, Naruto-kun? You haven't answered yet. I will be there, Gigi. Oh, before I forget, make sure that you have free time the day after tomorrow. Hokage Gigi, can I borrow training ground 56? What for? Hiruzen asked with Hideyoshi nodding in agreement. For the spar, of course. The spar between Sakura and Tsunade Bakken. Jiraiya's eyes widened in shock before he stuttered out, are you sure that it is wise to have those two behemoths spar within Konoha? Jiraiya suddenly felt a shiver run down his spine. Turning to the source of the killing intent, he saw the pink-haired medic giving him a death glare. I will be sure to inform Tsunade-sama that you called her and me behemoths. I am sure that she will be thrilled. Jiraiya started to stammer in fear when Naruto said, I will work with Moka Obasama and Natsumi-chan to cover the whole training ground in a specialized sealing barrier. Everything within will be out of phase with the universe, so no attack will escape. The most devastation will be that the whole training ground will have some craters and the trees would be uprooted. Seeing Naruto's nonchalant expression, Hideyoshi and Hiruzen just sighed again. Leave it to Naruto to downplay complete demolition of one of the S-ranked training grounds. Grounds that are reinforced with many seals to be extremely durable. Sakura, you should meet up with your parents. They haven't seen you in a while. I am sure that they would love to hear the good news. Naruto said with a smile. Hell no. I am not leaving you alone with the Tohime-sama. The first thing you will do is try and convert her into a ramen addict. No, I am staying. Besides, we are 3 days early. A couple of hours won't kill my parents. Seeing the determined look on Sakura's face, Naruto grinned and said with a teasing tone, are you jealous? Don't worry, I am sure that Hisui-chan won't take advantage of me, will you, my dear? Hisui played along with a teasing smile. If you want, you still have a chance, Sakura-chan, to join. What do you say? Sakura's face took on pink tinge as she spluttered out, I don't like Naruto-baku like that. Hisui and Naruto chuckled, causing the pink-haired girl to mock glare at her two companions and say, unbelievable. Now there are two of them. Sakura pouted and turned her head away, though within the deep recesses of her mind, Hisui's words struck a chord. Sakura, can you please pick up Sasuke and come to the Golden Leaf? We will be having lunch there. Seeing that Naruto was serious, Sakura nodded and said, all right. He is at his apartment, right? Naruto nodded before saying, that's right, but on second thought, get everyone from the Roki 9 and there you can find along with their sensei. I will pick up Hinata-chan, Anko, Ruka-sensei, Yujao and Tenzo. Sakura nodded before vanishing in a shunshin. At the same time, Naruto created 3 clones and had them disperse to gather everyone. Turning to Hisui, Naruto offered her his arm and said, let me escort you to meet my other fiancé. Hisui nodded with a smile as she wrapped her arm with Naruto's before both vanished in a swirl of leaves. The guards standing at the entrance of the Hyuga were surprised when Naruto and Itohime appeared in a swirl of leaves, but before either could comment, one of the guards rushed into the compound while the other bowed to Naruto and said, welcome back, Naruto-sama. Hayashi-sama is in his study. Hinata-sama and Hanabi-sama are meditating in Hitami-sama's personal garden. Atohime raised an eyebrow at both guards' reactions but decided to not comment. Naruto nodded and said, "Thank you Hyuga-san, but can you direct me towards the garden? I and my companion wish to meet up with Hinata-chan." "Of course Naruto-sama. Please take a right at the first branch path from the main road. Follow it for 3 intersections before taking a left at the 4th. At the end of that path is the garden." Naruto nodded before walking in with Hisui still clinging to his arm. As the couple walked through the Hyuga estate, a sudden shout drew their attention. Turning around, Naruto and Hisui saw Hayashi rushing after them with Neji at his heels. "Good afternoon Hayashi-dono. A pleasant day, isn't it?" Hayashi came to a stop in front of the couple and said, "That it is Naruto-sama. I am pleased that I caught you before you left. I was just taking Neji's report of the Kiri mission and wished to congratulate you on a successful first mission as a team leader. We heard about your wonderful exploits. Also, please extend my congratulations to Haruno-san. Neji just finished reporting of her promotion. I will be sure to let her know. Now, I am sure that Neji has told you that the Mizuhime and the Crown Prince, her brother, has traveled back with us. Let me introduce, Atohime-chan. Hisui-chan, this is Hyuga Hayashi, the clan head of the noble Hyuga clan. It is a pleasure to meet you Hayashi-san. I am Atohime. I am Naruto-kun's second fiancé. Naruto-kun has told me a great deal about Hinata-chan, so if you don't have any pressing matters to discuss with Naruto-kun, may we be on our way? I am sure that a clan head like you have much paperwork to do." "Of course Hime-sama. My daughters are training in their late mother's personal garden. I am sure the guards have informed you of the directions. Neji, please escort Naruto-sama and Atohime-sama to the garden." Neji nodded stiffly before walking forward. As the 3 walked away from Hayashi, the Hyuga clan head called out from behind, "And congratulations on your engagement." Naruto waved a hand as Atohime turned back and smiled before walking away. After the 3 left, Hayashi let out a soft sigh before muttering, "That girl will be a thorn in my plans to win Naruto-sama over." Take a deep breath Hanabi and then release it. As you have fire and earth, you need to both have a strong will and good breathing technique. From what Naruto-kun has explained, earthbending needs you to be firm. With a strong will, you can bend the very earth to your will. As for fire, fire is generated by your breath. Learning to breathe right will allow you to generate greater heat and therefore stronger fire. Hinata said softly as she released a deep breath. "You don't even have my affinities. How do you know so much about them?" Hanabi questioned as she stood up and stretched her legs. Hinata stood up as well and said, "I may not have the affinities, but I had asked Naruto-kun to explain how bending the other elements work. He explained it to me in great detail. But if you prefer to be guided by someone who has your affinities, then why not ask Konohamaru-kun for help? He has the exact same affinities and has mastered them to an appreciable degree." Hanabi glared at her sister and said, "I am not asking that baboon for help. He just graduated because he is Naruto-sama's apprentice and Hokage-sama's grandson." "Is that right, little firecracker? Do you think I would allow such blatant favoritism? Do you think you can match up with Konohamaru right now?" Naruto asked with a cool tone causing Hanabi to shiver in fear. The last time Naruto used that tone, he forced her to clean all the Hyuga bathrooms by herself. "I have told you before. Arrogance and jealousy will only lead to regret. Konohamaru was inducted into the forces because he is way too skilled to leave in the academy. Also, you may not know this, but Konohamaru had to take a graduation test which was of much higher difficulty than the one you will have to take at the end of your 4th year." "He did?" Hanabi asked with curiosity. Naruto nodded. "He passed with flying colors. Then he had to pass my test to officially become my apprentice. Let me tell you, even the famous spell test would be easier than mine. Anyway, Hinata-chan, Hanabi-chan, meet Atohime-chan. She is the only daughter of the Mizu daimyo and my second fiancé. She is quite the accomplished samurai as well. Her weapon of choice is her naginata." "Hello," Hanabi said with a bow. Hinata nodded, "It's a pleasure to meet you Atohime-chan. Please call me Hisui, Hinata-chan. All my friends do," Atohime said with a smile. Hinata smiled and nodded as Hisui continued, "Naruto-kun has told me a lot about you. I am looking forward to get to know you better. We are sisters now, aren't we?" "Of course Hisui-chan. You just arrived this morning, didn't you?" Hisui nodded as Naruto was helping Hanabi with her stances for firebending. Every time Hanabi made a mistake, Naruto would gently reposition her arms and legs into the correct posture. Oh. Where are my manners? I am sure that you haven't had lunch yet, so please join my family today. Unfortunately Hinata-chan, I can't today. After all, Naruto-kun and I came here to invite you and your sister to lunch with us at the Golden Leaf Hotel along with Naruto-kun's other friends and close confidants. Hinata nodded in understanding before calling out, "Cousin, please inform father that I and Hanabi-chan will not be having lunch with him today. And send someone with tea." "Hisui-chan, please come with me. I am sure that you haven't unpacked yet. You can borrow one of my kimonos. You look about my size. Naruto-kun, please excuse us. Come on Hanabi-chan. Get washed up and ready. We leave in 15 minutes. Stop drinking so much." Sakura scolded, causing the Yamanaka heiress to slam down the jar of sake. Looking up with a teary smile, said, "I can't believe that you got promoted before me. That too directly to Takubutsu Jonin. I am so happy for you." Forehead. A vein throbbed on Sakura's temple before she slapped Ino upside the head and looked away with a huff, though a small sad smile graced the pinkette's face. "Sakura, Sasuke, what was it like?" Kiba asked with excitement, only for Sasuke to grunt and ask, "What?" "Fighting in the war." "What war?" Sasuke said with a smirk. Kiba glared before saying, "The Kari Rebellion. What were you doing over there? Lazing about?" "You wish." Besides, other than Sakura, none of the Jonin saw much action. Team 9 had to deal with a couple of Chunin, while I took down a team of Genin during the initial assault, the very day we got there. After that, it was all camp support and chores. But what about the rumors of you guys single-handedly changing the course of the war? Dog breath, it was Naruto, Sakura, and the two Anbu with us that really changed the course of the war. Not even Jiraiya-sama saw action, and he is a fucking Sannin. Care to elaborate? Shikamaru asked as Sakura was trying to stop from choking the clingy Yamanaka heiress. When we reached there, Yagura's two main forces were already attacking the camp. Naruto sent Sakura to the medical section, with me and Sai as her protection. The Jonin, Anbu and Team 9 were sent to extract casualties. Jiraiya-sama and Mai-sama were sent to the command center. It was Naruto who took down the whole army he faced without a single casualty on the enemy's side. He only took out the commanders, not that blame him. From what I heard, each of them were bastards that made Ichi look like a saint. I see. Not surprising, especially with Naruto's strength. How long did it really take? For Naruto to subdue the attacking forces, I mean? Sasuke thought for a moment before saying, a little over 3 minutes. Did you get the technique he used? Shikamaru asked as Kiba to exclaim, how the hell did he do that? The same thing he did to the Iwajin Shiriki, the thing he does with air pressure. Just in a more massive scale than in Nami. Troublesome. Now I wish I had air as my element. There are so many more strategies with air than with water. Water can be much more effective if you use it creatively, Shikamaru-kun. A voice said, drawing everyone's attention to the entrance of the room. There stood Hinata, Hanabi, a girl, a little older than them, that none but those that went to Kari recognized, Naruto, Ruka, and Anko. All of them, but Naruto, Ruka and Anko were wearing expensive kimonos. Oi Yamanaka. Is that Sake from Tano-kuni? Ino nodded with a red face before saying, you want some, Anko-san? Hell yeah. Anko said as she caught the unopened bottle Ino threw at her, only for a sword to slash the bottle in half. Anko stared at the bottle for a few moments, turning her head backwards to see who was the culprit, only to gulp in fear. Behind Anko stood Yujao, still clad in her Anbu uniform. Her mask by her waist. Her katana was unsheathed and gleaming with a bit of sake clinging to it. Then there was the glare the violet-haired woman was sporting. With a sickly sweet tone, Yujao asked, Anko-chan, don't you think that it is too early to start drinking? Turning to Kurenai and Asuma, the woman asked, and you too, how can you keep allowing the girl to become drunk? Last time, I can ignore as the sake was particularly potent, but you don't have that excuse this time. Asuma gulped as he shivered in fear while Kurenai smiled and said, what can I say? They are shinobi. We don't have a right to stop them, though I advised against it. Ino-chan just didn't listen. She is just like Anko-chan over there. You know how difficult it is to control her. Yujao sighed before reseating her katana before turning to Anko and saying, "You get drunk, I lock you out of the apartment. Got it?" "Hey beautiful, care to share your name?" Kiba asked as he approached Itoheim with a slight swagger in his steps. Everyone who knew about Itoheim froze in fear. None of them were expecting the set of events that occurred. As Kiba tried to place his arm around Itoheim's shoulder, he suddenly found himself on the ground with the black blade of her Naginata between Kiba's legs. With a sweet tone, Itoheim said, "Try that again, and you will find yourself less of a man." Do I make myself clear? All the males in the room paled while most of the females were nodding with an approving look on their faces, with Kurenai shaking her head in exasperation. "Are you stupid, Inuzuka? Wait, don't answer that. I already know that you are. This the only daughter of the Mizu daimyo and Naruto-sensei's second fiancé." Kiba paled as he turned to stare at Naruto with horror. Naruto sighed before saying, "Kiba, I am not going to take action against you, but make this clear. What you pulled would allow me to ask for your head. If it was another daimyo, you would have been dead. The way you act will only end up harming you in the long run and bring shame upon your clan, your village, your land, and most of all, your comrades. I can understand that you are attracted to women you find attractive, but the way you approach will only alienate them. This is not an honorable way to act. What will your mother and sister say? Hisui-chan, let him up please, and forgive him. He can be a bit thick sometimes." "As you wish, Naruto-kun. You dog, remember what I said," Hisui said with a bit of contempt. Kiba nodded with a fearful look before Kurenai spoke up, "Meet me at your home, Kiba. You, me and your mother will be having a long overdue discussion about your behavior with ladies." Kiba paled even further as Hinata spoke up, "You really should know better by now, Kiba-kun." Turning to the others, the Hyuga heiress said, "I think we came here to celebrate, not for the drama Kiba-kun is always bound to cause, so let's celebrate." "Hello everyone. I am Itoheim. It is a pleasure to meet you all. I have heard a lot about all of you from Naruto-kun and Sakura-chan. I hope we can get along." "Likewise." The names met Irashi Anko. Anko said with a grin before saying, "Though I must say you are the only princess I have ever met who knew how to handle herself on the battlefield." "Thank you. My brother is a bit paranoid and had me trained as a samurai from our best female captain of the Royal Guards. She taught me everything I know." Anko nodded with a glint in her eye. "Don't even think about it, Anko. She isn't a shinobi. You would end up traumatizing her like you nearly did to Konohamaru-kun." Anko pouted at the red-eyed woman scolding as the woman turned to Itoheim and bowed, "I am Yui Kurenai, Jonin sensei of Team 8 that consists of Hyuga Hinata, a Bahrain Shino, and unfortunately Inuzuka Kiba," Kurenai said as she pointed out her team. Each nodded in agreement with Kurenai's statement and bowed except Hinata. Itoheim nodded as Hinata quipped with a teasing smile, "She is the best genjutsu user in the world, if you don't consider Uchiha Ichi, but then again, the Uchiha's claim to genjutsu mastery comes from their overrated monkey marbles they call eyes." "Mind what you say, Hinata Dano. The Sharingan allows us minor precognition in battle along with hypnosis, while the Byakugan only allows 360 degrees vision. I would say that I got the better bargain." "What use is your eyes if you can't see someone coming?" Hanabi quipped before Kakashi and Tenzo called out together, "Enough out of you three. Leave the rivalry to the training fields." Both looked surprised before sharing a look and grinning, though Kakashi's grin couldn't be seen under his mask. The name Sarutobi Asuma, the Jonin sensei of Team 10 consisting of Yamanaka Ino, Narashikamaru and Akimaki Choji. "Nice to meet you. It has been a long time since I have talked face to face with a princess. Not since before I retired from the 12 Guardian Ninja." As Asuma introduced his team, each member nodded though everyone could see that Ino was a bit inebriated from the way she was swaying in her seat. "Nice to meet you all. Hisui-chan, this is Minoruka-sensei. Our sensei in the academy and the only one who treated me fairly. It is nice to meet you, Haim-sama. I hope that you will be happy with my knuckle-headed former student," Ruka said with a teasing grin. "Though he has become quite a celebrity since graduating. I hope you and Hinata-chan can keep the fangirls away." "Don't worry, Ruka-sensei. I am sure that we are up for the task, aren't we, Hinata-chan? I would like to see those gold diggers get within 10 yards of him." Hinata said with a sudden cruel glint in her eyes, causing everyone who knew the girl to realize that, no matter how peace-loving and kind the girl was, she was still a shinobi and the future first wife of a daimyo. Someone that needs to be as strong as well as kind and understanding. Congratulations Dato-kun. You too Sakura-chan. Said as she walked in wearing an expensive-looking kimono. A gift from Naruto on her recent 17th birthday. What are you congratulating me for, Ni-chan? And me? From what Sakura knew, her promotion wasn't something that was common news yet. I do have eyes, you know. I can see the standard jonin vest you are wearing. I may be a civilian, but I do live in a shinobi village. As for you Naruto-kun, a little white birdie told me that you are now engaged to two beautiful ladies and for being the next Hokage. I can't wait for official announcement. Said with an excited grin. Sakura jumped up and rushed towards before shaking the girl and asking, how the hell did you know already? Hokage-sama declared it just this morning to us and told us to keep it hidden until the official announcement. Sakura would have kept shaking when two fists gently pried her hands off the ramen chef while Sasuke supported the dazed With a dizzy head, stuttered out, I overheard Moka-sama and Tsunade-sama discussing it a couple of weeks ago when I was making a delivery. I asked for confirmation and they told me. They did tell me to keep it quiet, but I thought that you would have alerted you friends by now. Naruto signed before saying, alright Sakura, cool down. The information wasn't spread into the high winds. Besides, I was about to announce it to you all today at the end. No harm done. Sakura nodded before turning an apologetic smile to sorry about that, but after hearing about Danzo, I was a bit paranoid. Ni-chan, this is Itohime-chan, my second fiancé and the princess of Mizu. Hisui-chan, this is Ichiraku someone I consider family. While I was roaming the streets looking for food, they were the ones who took me in and fed me. Oi, Ni-chan, where's the old man? Dad has a delivery to make at your compound, 700 bowls of assorted flavors of ramen. Thanks of bring back the Uzumaki clan. Our business is booming. We had to hire 3 new helpers. Everyone's jaw dropped at the information. None had ever heard of such a thing. Not even the Ikimeki ordered in such quantities the same dish, only different flavored. Thank you for taking care of Naruto-kun. Can I call you Ni-chan as well? You can call me Hisui. Nodded with a smile as Itohime continued, I would love to taste your ramen. Naruto-kun has been praising it ever since I met him. Sakura said with a toneless voice, causing the elder girl to look at Naruto's personal physician with a fearful expression. Even if he becomes a god, you won't give him ramen over his prescribed dietary quota, got it? Hi Sakura-sama. Seeing the strange reaction, Itohime asked Hinata, Sakura-chan doesn't allow Naruto-kun to go outside his diet, does she? Will she be doing that to us as well? Don't know, but I hope not. I don't think I can live without my cinnamon rolls. Hinata whispered back, only for Sakura to look at the duo with dead eyes and ask, you two aren't planning on sneaking him any extra ramen, are you? Not at all. Hinata quipped as Itohime nodded with relief. Good, because if you do, the you two would be the reason he died from unhealthy diet. Sakura said, causing Sasuke and Kiba to snicker at Naruto's predicament. Don't you think you are being quite harsh on him? I am sure that eating a few extra bowls won't kill him. Sasuke said, reining in his snickers. Oh. Is that so? When did you get your medical certification, Sasuke-chan? Sakura said with a sickly sweet tone, causing Naruto, Kakashi and Yujao to shiver in fear. Before anyone else could trigger Sakura's wrath, Naruto spoke up, anyway, for those of you who don't know, the heir to the throne of Mizu, Itohime-chan's elder brother, is here discussing a possible trade alliance with Hideyoshi Jiji and a military alliance with both Konoha and Yuzu. I want all of you to keep an eye out for dissenters. Do you think there will be dissenters? There are always dissenters, Shika. Just keep an eye out. With Danzo out of the way, there are no one pulling the strings on his civilian puppets. Also Shika, I need you to perform well during the Chunin exams. All of you need to do well. We will show the world the power of ninju. No longer will it only be a rumor. This Chunin exams will be the greatest breakthrough in history. All 5 great villages will be participating in this one. Both Kage and Daimyo of the 5 nations will be here. Smaller nations will also come, but from the reports, the Daimyo will come, not representatives like usual. Troublesome, as you wish Naruto, but please try not to have me promoted to Chunin. Shikamaru said, causing Naruto and Sakura to chuckle. Alright, you won't become Chunin, no matter how well you do. Now, there will be a council meeting tomorrow at dawn. All of you, shinobi, will need to be there, yes, even Yushika. Naruto stated, causing quite the round of raised eyebrows. Finally, this announcement is only for Anko. We had a run-in with your former master. Naruto said with a grin as Anko's face darkened. He escaped again, didn't he? More like we let him escape, with his tail tucked between his leg. It wasn't his time yet. What do you mean let him escape? Are you crazy? Anko shouted, only for Naruto raise a palm with a self-satisfied smirk. He has been greatly defanged. He has lost right to the snake summons. As of now, you are the only known snake summoner. I had a talk with the Hokage Sennin, Kashiro-senpai. At my recommendation, he has decided to let you become the main snake summoner and therefore, be trained as a sage. Also, Manda may have been dethroned, so there could be a new boss summons. You need to check with them. Congratulations Anko, you will finally surpass your master if you master Heavy Sennin transformation. Transformation? Not mode? Shikamaru asked with curiosity before Anko could react, drawing everyone's attention to the Noah air. That's right. Kashiro-senpai went a different road. Instead of a mode he uses a temporary physical mutation that allows the use of Senjutsu chakra. It is difficult to master and far more dangerous to learn than Sennin mode. I hope you succeed in the attempt. It would be such a shame to lose a kunoichi of your caliber. Also, come by the compound in 3 days' time. Natsumi-chan has found a way to completely remove the Juinjutsu Orochimaru applied on you. Before anyone could react, Naruto found himself on his back with Anko straddling him and raining down kisses on his face while crying out thank yous in between. It took the combined effort of Kurenai, Yujao, Kakashi and Tenzo to remove the crying woman off Naruto. Naruto chuckled and said with a teasing smile, now I have seen everything. The snake mistress of Konoha, crying. Anko's tears suddenly dried up as a potent killing intent flooded the room. 2 snakes flew towards Naruto while Anko said with a sickly sweet tone, this never leaves the room. At first, everyone panicked at the flying snakes, but to their shock, the snakes curled up around Naruto and bowed their head. The larger one greeted Naruto, Naruto-sama, it is so nice to meet you. Hokage-sama has been driving all of Richi Cave mad with praise of your abilities after your spar with him. The other snake turned to Anko and said, sorry Anko-chan, but outside of spars, we are forbidden from harming Naruto-sama, even if our venom would only cause him a bit of dizziness at best, that too if we could touch him. Yeah. How can we even hope to touch him, if he doesn't let us, when Hokage-sama failed to do the same? Oi, don't be overdramatic. Neither of us were trying to injure each other. It was only a bout of pure senjutsu usage. A battle among Sennin. A battle of sage masters. Naruto said as everyone's minds rebooted. After everyone calmed down, Anko asked in an odd tone, when did this happen? Sasuke replied, while on our way to Kiri. The spar Naruto and Hokage-sama had was awe-inspiring, not to mention completely changed the landscape. Alright, enough about unpleased things. Let's party. Sakura said with cheer, causing everyone to cheer in response. Also, everyone, the day after tomorrow at noon, Sakura-chan will be sparring with Senjutsu at Training Ground 56. All of you should come by and watch. So that's it for today guys. If you like this story and want more then please subscribe and turn on the bell icon. Until then take care and goodbye.